Hey y'all, I'm Holly Moore, your host, and welcome to the TCS podcast, where our mission is to educate and inspire and empower the residential cleaning industry. As a co-owner of the cleaning software and a proud owner of a cleaning service for the past 17 years, I'm here to share expert insights, stories, and strategies to help you take your cleaning business to the next level. We'll be bringing on experts, fellow industry leaders to share their experience and tips. Whether you are just starting out or looking to grow, this podcast is for you. Let's dive into the next episode. Welcome, guys, to TCS podcast episode 16. We are on the topic of AI and the cleaning software. TCS podcast is all about educating and empowering the residential cleaning industry. And I definitely say this topic this month. I almost didn't do it because I had to push myself to do it because I want to learn more. So I'm definitely not an expert at AI. I've definitely been going crazy about it and researching, and I have tons of questions for our special guest. So I don't want you to feel like when you watch this that you need to be intimidated, because I think we get AI thrown at us a lot, and it's really hard to take a certain thing away from it and actually implement, because you just get completely overwhelmed. So as a moderator this month, that is going to be my gig, is to slow it down and actually extract some useful information for y'all so you don't feel overwhelmed. But without further ado, I have to introduce our guest for the day. Today we are diving into the most exciting, game-changing topic in the industry right now, and AI. And our guest, Derek Hazelwood, is going to teach us how to create custom chat GPTs for your cleaning business, so you can use what used to take hours can take you effectively minutes. You can eliminate bottlenecks and run your business more effectively. So together we're going to explore these tasks. I'm so excited to have him on. I met him at a huge convention. His wife, Nina, actually owns Raleigh Cleaning Company in North Carolina. So everything he's talking about, he started with his cleaning service. So I am going to let him on the stage and let him introduce himself. Hey, Derek.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. I'm so excited about this one. I've been geeking out all week.
I'm excited about it myself. I get to talking all fast and so excited about it, because it's not a process to where, like, you find a new credit card processor that may save you some money. You're like, great, a couple $100 a month or whatever. But then when you start getting involved in things like this, to where you really see your margin change as far as like how much time it's giving you back, along with what you're able to do. This is the stuff that makes the dream work, I have to say. And I really get excited when talking about it, quite honestly.
Well, tell us a little bit briefly, because we want to pick your brain for all the cool stuff, because you've showed me a couple things that I'm already like, that's crazy. So, but tell me a little bit of history. Tell me about Ricochet, because I know you and Nina have the cleaning service. How did you get from insurance guy to cleaning service husband? And then how did that implement? And now you have Ricochet. And just tell me a little bit about your background, and then we'll dive right in.
Sure. So I have been in insurance for a really long time. Got into it in 1999.
Oh, 1 second. Can you turn your mic up a little bit anyway?
I can. Can you hear
Perfect.
me now? Is that
a little
good?
bit better?
Good.
A little bit higher.
Hello.
It was a request from live.
Okay. All right.
Now you may go.
I have been in insurance essentially since 1999. Opened my own business in 2002 and continued into other businesses. I also had a mortgage company and then sold that off. And then I was still full-time into insurance until I met Nina, who, of course, started Raleigh Cleaning Company back about a decade ago. And we actually met in a realm of, we met online, and she was looking for an insurance agent for Raleigh Cleaning Company. And I just happened to, in one of my profile pictures, my background was my office. So she got to digging and saw, this might work out. And so we went from trusted advisor to trusted husband real quick. And so inside of her business, she had a general manager, and he was doing most of all her hiring. And he was had an obligation that he was going to leave and go somewhere else. His wife was ill, and so she's like, "Hey, do you think you can do hiring?" And I was like, "Pfft, absolutely." This was new in the relationship, so I had to be Superman. I could do all things, you know. And so I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so I started doing the hiring and looked at his process, and basically what was happening, just like everybody else, you're getting resumes, getting people to make interview times. They're not showing up. The no show rate is super high. And essentially I was like, I've got to figure out something. And then I started using templates. Then fast forward, I'm not going to make the story long. And one of my really, really trusted friends looked at me and he said, it's too bad you can't automate this. And when he said that, like, something really spurred in me, because we already had so much automation for the insurance company. I'm like, well, you know what? We can. And that's where it started. All the automation started a few years ago, and we have been building out, building out, building out. And then, because I think every really good idea or every good business comes from fixing a problem. There are a lot of businesses that fix problems that don't exist and they go by the wayside. But this didn't start as a business or a company. It started as just sheerly us fixing things for us. And then all of a sudden, business owners saw what we were doing. And, our show up rate on interviews were 80 and 90%. And it was just unreal. And can you do this for me? I was like, well, I guess. And then it just went from one thing to the next to the next. And here we are.
I love it. Well, thank you for that background. That was a very interesting dating story. I didn't know that. So,
Yep.
so your topic today, like we were talking kind of in our pre-meeting before you came on, I was like, AI is the future. And whether you want to admit it or not, it is coming. It is going to take over. And if you refuse to use it, that's fine. But everybody, it's like a race. Everybody's just going to be sprinting past you, and you're still going to be huffing and puffing, typing out an email. So if you want to stay up and you want to be successful, you got to start diving in, because it's only getting faster and quicker and evolving so fast. And I say today's the day you jump in. And that we were talking about, it's just everybody gets so overwhelmed, and it seems so mind-boggling what it can actually do that people just kind of like turn around and they avoid it, especially as residential cleaning people, because we're used to like, pushing up our sleeves and jumping in and like working with people and customers directly. And we just don't think about technology as much as we should. And honestly, like even CRMs we can't even keep up with how fast HR is going, or AI is going. And so there's a lot of everybody's trying to catch up to it. And you're going to see a boom to where if you're not even familiar with AI, you're not even going to be able to use a CRM, because there's so many integrations and so much step ups coming for everyone in the industry. So today's the day. So I was telling Derek, I really wanted something to like talk down to me, like me. Like, I don't know a whole lot. I need you to bring it down to my level, use terminology that I know. And I asked him, like, what was the most pivotal moment for you and what you use the most in your daily life that's easy to teach, where you could show our viewers so they could use it every day? And then your response was, I want to talk about custom chat GPTs. And then of course I'm watching videos and I'm researching. And then I realized, like, did he mean like a custom just channel, or did he mean an agent? Because apparently those are different. And so I am just super excited for you to just start on this topic. You are more than welcome to share your screen. You should have a share sign in the bottom, and just take us to church. I love it. I know once you get started, I'm not interrupting. I might be like, wait, what does that mean? Wait, what does that mean? Otherwise, it's your show.
Well, the thing about that, it is the wave of the future. It's the wave of now. And when people say, you've heard people say, well, AI is going to replace people's jobs. And I don't really exactly believe that. But what I do believe is AI will replace people's jobs that do not know how to use it. I had a really wise man tell me, like, hey, look, do you remember the late 2000s, early 2000s, late 99, and when
Mhm.
the internet came around, how that changed things. And, it was massive, what happened in that time period and just that 5 year structure. Well, here we are right now on the cusp of a complete just remake of that, except so much bigger. This is something that will revolutionize everything. And quite truthfully, is one of the things that I love about AI and I love about ChatGPT is it really, really levels the playing field. We have great, big, huge corporations that have complete marketing teams, complete sales teams, complete everything. And now you can compete with them and do the same things they do without the overhead to a large degree. And that's what's really amazing. And I really wanted to talk about, Chat GPT because it's quite one, it's really kind of, you hear people say it all the time. I believe it is becoming synonymous as much as people saying, hey, I'm going to Google it. We actually were last year, we were racing and something happened to a TV inside the motorhome. And I said, I wonder what size TV that I got to figure it out. I'm looking on Google and all that stuff. And Nina just puts in the name, brand of the motorhome and the whole nine. And before I can get Google to find anything, Chat GPT told me everything. It was just amazing. And so
Mhm.
that's where we are now. And in some of the agents, I wanted to talk about that for a minute because what you can train them to do is just absolutely unreal. You have to look at them like this. So we have uh, a blank canvas, okay?
Mhm.
And you're basically putting stuff in it. So you can build a custom GPT and they can go out online and they can gather information and put back into what you're seeing. However, you really want it to be pulling your stuff, not necessarily everybody else's stuff when you're talking about your business. Now, with marketing and things like that, maybe you can, use that out in the website, but that might be a different agent. So, one of the things that I wanted to bring in is how can we use this to where it works well? And I'm going to do a couple things and show you exactly
Okay.
how.
Hey, wait, hold on 2 seconds.
Okay.
Viewers are responding. Look how many people we have viewing at one time. That's amazing. Everybody can't wait. But they said somebody has feedback, so I'm trying to fix it.
Fixie, fixie.
Fix it, fix it. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, Derek, you keep talking because see if it's me, then I'll fix it on my end. You keep talking.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So essentially I wanted to bring out and show how that the things that chat can do. And I'm going to show you that live. Um, so that's going to be interesting because it's not kind of one of those things that's just in theory. I'm going to show you what happens live. So give me 1 second and get there. So the the difference between it is like it's only as good as the information that you put in. So you have to kind of build them out. So I first off, what I'm going to do is inside I actually built a customized GPT for this call, just specifically for right now. And I can show you how that's going to work. So let me share. Okay. All right. Can we see this? All right. So as you see, I've named this Raquel, the customer service queen agent. And most of all my things to my agents, a lot of them start with R because the simple fact is, Ricochet is the letter R, right? So that's why I did that. So anyway, what I have here is like, well, let's say we have somebody that just sends a message and they're not happy. Let's just say something really you hate to see. I think a cleaner stole from me. That's not one you want to see, right?
No.
But the thing about it is like what it does is it looks at exactly how you want to respond to that. Like I hear your concern. I know you're upset. It goes through the feel felt found, and then it kind of creates reassurance. Now, had it been mine, it would actually have given a little bit more. So I'm going to flip real fast to mine and copy the same exact thing because in mine I've actually put in there uh, my pre my pre-selected knowledge. So So it does my process. It tells me what it is. The next step, the document for details of what's missing. And then not only that, but about a formal investigation. And then what happens after that if law enforcement is involved and things like that. So what you actually can do that's absolutely amazing with all these agents is you can sit there and build them exactly to your information. So what we did is we took all of our customer service manuals. We took our cleaning manuals. We took our policies and procedures. We also took downloaded emails. We downloaded text. We downloaded everything that we possibly could that we knew we had responded to in the last period of time. And then when we uploaded that into the GPT, then basically what happens is it turns around and it gives us the answers that are in that book. Now, me as the co-owner and Nina as the owner, there's a lot of the process and stuff we know just right off the top of our head because, of course, we created those processes and go through them all the time. Every few months, every 6 months, and we will see if it's working out. But what's so interesting about this is you think about the things as far as like one of the biggest topics I know is like VA, virtual assistants, and things like that. Well, how do you train your virtual assistants and how do they know exactly what to do? Well, here's what they can do. If you can have the amount of information inside of there that we have, it's going to, give them a really good understanding. So I'll give you another thing, for example, within our agency or and within our company itself. So, uh, just for example, we can copy and paste inside of our text messages coming in and something like this.
Now there's feedback.
All right, well, I have to know the policy and procedures to do that. However, by putting this in, what will happen is it will actually look through that policy and procedures and tell me what's going to go on. As you see, it's building the cancellation policy right now. It's pulling it up. Um, so the people that are watching right now, and anybody hear me because I'm getting a text saying we can't be heard in the chat. Uh, let us see.
Can you hear?
Can we hear? Can we hear? Let's see here. Can we hear? Can we hear?
Hey, Derek, it's on my end. Anyway, I'm going to mute myself. Keep going. You should be good after I mute myself.
Okay. All right. So here we go. So let's go back. So here's our cancellation policy. Well, because it's within 24 hours, um, basically they're going to pay the full service because it's within 24 hours. However, we do have something once a year for our clients. It's called a good out of jail free card, and it actually looks just like the Monopoly card. And we'll send that to them and, of course, keep track of it and stuff like that. But what happens is, say, for example, you brought on a VA or you brought on somebody that's very new. What I actually have is, this built out to where it's it's customer service centric. So even my staff can ask it questions. So that's very particular about this one. Now, not only can you do this in customer service, but you also can do it in sales. You also can do it in finance. You can do it in all those sort of things. So if you look right down here on the left hand side, I have something called Wolf of South Main Street. So, I'm from the financial background, and the simple thing about it is like I came from, really high sales area. So I love Jordan Belfort, Grant Cardone, things like that. And so I have the Wolf of Main Street because that's where our office is at. But if I, pick that, then I can ask a sales question such as, I need to talk to my husband as an objection. And then you will have the knowledge base of something that maybe that Jordan Belfort would say and or Grant. It depends on how I'm wording and things that I'm doing. But it will come back in, and he has something called a straight line delivery system and um, uh, a straight line sales pattern to get back to. So what you could inevitably do with inside of this is, there are a lot of people that are said, well, I'm not a salesperson. I just can't do sales. And, that is true. There's a lot of individuals who don't have those ability in sales because they just don't. That's not their gifted patterns. But with things like this and it being online where you're texting back and forth, it kind of brings down a lot of those walls because you can use templates as to where you're going. Now, what is Chat GPT? That's a great question. Chat GPT is nothing more than a website that you can go on and type in chatgpt.com. You can have a absolutely free account, and you can do a certain amount of stuff under the free account. Once I started within ChatGPT, I instantly kind of upgraded within just a little bit, so I could do a lot more things, API integrations, and some of the things that the plus allows you to do. However, the cost of the plus with the amount of time that you save is just absolutely unreal. So it really isn't a cost within itself because it saves you so much time. So what you do over here is you have essentially at the very top, you're going to have your main GPT. That's just like when you click on this in new chat, it's going to open up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to click on the wrong screen. So when you click on this, it opens back up to your main page. And I think like the Chat GPT Plus is like $20 a month. So it's not a whole lot to begin with, especially for having the power that it does. So what you would see when you come in is essentially this right here. Ready when you are. Well, what do you want to do? And the answer is, I mean, it's just absolutely whatever you want to do. Just start asking it. But the thing that I want you to understand about it that many people use this for is they use it like a search engine, almost like a Google or a Bing or whatever you happen to use. And it's very useful to do that. It really is. And in the beginning days, that's kind of more what people started with it. But now it's just so much more different than anything possible. You can take screenshots of your screen and what you're seeing and say, okay, what's next? And then on top of that, with giving you directions, you can continue to screen paste and do that and just see kind of what line of progression you're in, no matter what. And here's an interesting thing that I want to tell you all that's very key. So, when you're building your own agents, which I'll get to that in just a minute, when you're building your own agents, well, what better to use than Chat GPT within itself? So when you open up an agent to build, you kind of think about the systematic process of your company. What areas would I need help? So, many have sales, media, you would have your finance, you would have customer service, and then whatever other departments that you want to have. So the question is like, okay, now that I do that, what exactly am I going to do there? So we're going to actually look at that, how that works. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to make a new one. And then we're going to go back into the one that I built that I can share with you all. If you send me an email, I'll send you the information to it. And then I can even show you a little bit of how to build that one out specifically for you, because I do have things in there that are generic, because, I can't put something that's going out to you all that's from us, because that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So within that, what you would do is you would come up here and you have your GPTs, and you click there, and there's actually a storefront of things that you can pick from. You can go into things that are trending all the way from astrology birth charts to building things and open AI and writing. So I mean, they have piles of things that you can download inside of GPT. Now I'm going to show you why building your own, there's one really specific thing that you want to look at. So what you would do is you're up here at the right hand side and you would say create. And as this opens, it's basically nothing more than a baby when it's born. It's nothing there. Now, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom left hand side, the capabilities are web search. Well, it can actually go out and grab information and bring it in to the GPT so it can do searches. So it really depends on how you want that to happen. So within my GPTs, the ones that are specific to our companies, I don't have them to go out to the web search. The ones that I am looking for advice and things like that, I absolutely will use the web search in there. And there's some really amazing functionalities in that you're going to go over in the next couple of weeks. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, but that is just like the coolest thing ever that's going to be talked about next week. So when you go forward, you have the name as to what you want to call your GPT. And I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Let's just say Holly. Holly the Echoes is what we should call it, right?
I know. I had to switch computers. Is everything good now?
That sounds great. That sounds fantastic.
I think I'm good, but y'all let me know if I'm not. I apologize. My computer crashed yesterday morning, and I tested it and everything before Derek got on, and then apparently it's still sick. So we'll send it back to the doctor.
Well, it needs a checkup. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no joke.
So you can go in and start configuring this thing. You can click there and add a picture so you'll know what it is and to configure it. But as we go down the description, basically you just tell it the short description for what this chat GPT is. So, this is a really, really short description. We're going to say customer service. Okay. All right. So I would normally have that tremendously longer as to exactly what it would do. Now in instructions, this is where you're going to tell it what you want it to be. And if you open up another chat GPT, which is really funny, if you kind of copy instructions, come here, open chat GPT and say, I am building a customer service GPT. All right, Holly, what do you want? Can you talk yet? Or are you still
I'm
trying to
good.
figure
I
it
can
out?
talk now. I'm on a
So,
healthy computer now.
okay. So what do you want this the customer service agent to sound like? Give me an idea when you think of somebody that's really great at what they do. What exactly do you think of?
Soft in tone and understanding, however, detailed in following the policies and procedures.
Okay. Soft and toned, detailed,
Compa-
compassionate.
compassionate.
Now look, you're getting ready to see something I can't spell.
You
I
left
use
out the
chat.
P.
Yeah, I did. But thank God for right click, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compassionate, soft, but sticks to rules.
And
All right,
policies.
and
Yes.
policy. Okay. All right. So we're just going to say, give me a description. Who's the sweetest person that you know personally?
Personally, my mom.
Okay. So she's a woman, of course.
Hmm.
Uh, let's say that she's in her, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s, right? Let's just say
Okay.
that. All right. Um, tell me her tone of voice.
Steady. She's loud but happy and always happy and always positive.
Okay. So here's what we start coming up with, the agent description. So what we could do is if we like all this, we can say, hey, that's really awesome. All right. We're going to say within the instructions itself, we're going to come in here and grab all this stuff. Right
So
click.
you're using ChatGPT to train your ChatGPT.
Absolutely. Because it
Hmm.
knows what it wants. I mean, it's not like, your wife when you're like, hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? I don't know. Like what restaurant you want, whatever you want. It's not like that. It actually knows what it wants. And then, or where the furniture is, but I'm gonna leave that there. And then you can
Smart
say,
man.
what would I've never typed on live before. Normally, I always have a presentation, so this
I
is new.
know. Hey, wait till your voice or your volume doesn't work on a live. That's fun.
Well, I have a lot of audio controls and a soundboard and the whole nine, so I kind of got around that. Uh,
I thought I did too, till my computer got sick.
well, while I'm pulling this up, I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but of course, being a musician is one of them. And so, by having a lot of sound engineering stuff of setting up stuff, I'm always freaked out about that not working. So, I kind of overdo stuff, to be quite honest. So, here we go, and we just dump this in here. All right. And so now we have this person. And conversation starters, you really don't need, but that can trigger stuff. So let's go. So you see that? Think of these like her signature hello hugs. I mean, it's telling you what they want. So you're going to take this. Okay. All right. Now, here is the couple things. I'm actually going to go back to this because I want to see if it's any different. Um, so you see that web capabilities is turned on right now, and I'm going to continue to leave it on. But if this is something to where you are using this for your internal issues, like I showed you, where it has my policies and procedures and things like that, you don't want to do that because it may pull other policy procedures of other cleaning companies somewhere else. So you do this to where it's not kind of doing that thing. I noticed it can kind of go both ways. I've left it on, I've left it off. Here's what's interesting, go in there and leave web search on and ask of other cleaning companies' policies or public policies and procedures, because what can happen is it can crawl across the website of your competitors. And if they have some of those policies and procedures for their staff built inside of there, guess what? You can find. So, um, right here, you can pick GPT-5 if it's available or whichever one you want. The thinking is going to be more math and data than anything. The newest one is GPT-5, which is much faster than 4. And then essentially you have it built out, and then you would say create. And who do you want to only see it? Okay, this is only for me. It's anybody with the link that I actually allow to have, or I can put it in the GPT store to where other people can have it. So on this one, we're going to say anybody with a link and hit save. All right, and it'll take just a couple seconds. And then it says view your GPT. So essentially it opens up what we've already built right there. So we can ask it a question. And it doesn't exactly have to be cleaning company specific. Now, all of this would be in your policies and procedures, as like breakage and things like that. But look how it responds. This is the type of stuff that you can have if you have somebody maybe that isn't empathetic or that isn't as empathetic as you actually want them to be. These are the things that they can use. And you also can put the templates in there as to what you've already been using. And then it can actually give you from what you've been using along to what's new. So that's extremely, extremely cool. Also, within ChatGPT itself, when you build these things, you can put in data. So I'm going to go back in because I want to do that. I want to put in data from a few things of a couple books that's super important to me. So I'm going to go back into GPTs, and then up at the top right, my GPTs, and then Holly, because we've already built that. So we edit it, and in the knowledge base, we can upload some files. And here's what I'm going to upload. Because I did these earlier, it is Raving Fans. I don't know if you know that book. Fantastic book. The author has all kinds of stuff about amazing, amazing customer service. Then also I'm going to do the same thing of delivering happiness, because who doesn't love that book. So you take those things and it's uploading the files, upload files. So just click there. Actually, it already did it. Now we can hit update, and we go back, and you would say this, respond to a customer who we are running late as And so what it does is it takes the Raving Fans and brings the book and all the information of inside of that into the response itself. So it allows you to say, I'm aligned with this particular type of training or this particular type of thing, and it aligns your responses to it. The exact same that aligns your responses from your own company. That's why if you're downloading your text and or things from your email and you can upload into it, you can see the positive of that because it's responding for you. So it cuts out so much time. It's absolutely unbelievable. And anything, every single communication that comes in and out, you can run it through it. To where you have to think about some things. What would be good in this area? How would I do this? How come this? And I have some other GPTs that Drew's going to talk about next week to help you analyze some situations that is absolutely remarkable. So what you have to really do about ChatGPT is not think of it as like a software, but it's your little robot or your little employee moving around on a daily basis. So those are a couple things to look at as to how it can be. So you can take all the data from an author, from a financial advisor, and make one in every single segment. So it's absolutely unreal.
That's crazy. Hey, really quick though, for us not as smart people. So like what do you choose to upload versus feed through the chat? Like, so if I have my customer policies and procedures or employee handbook, I would want to upload that kind of documentation. But as far as like I get an email, how would I get it to this channel? Would I feed it
Sure.
through Write Ask Anything, or would I upload it into the section you talked about?
Right.
Sorry,
So
question for dummies.
no, that's a great question. Great question. So what I do is when I have something that has changed and or something is happening, a situation that it doesn't give me a whole lot of good options and things we have to do maybe. So I will actually take that information, the whole customer thread, whether it's communication, email, text message, and we text a lot. It's our main way of communication. And I'll take the whole thread, put it in a Google document, and then save it as a PDF and then upload it. And then it has the whole thing. And I'll give it a prompt. This was interaction with the client, learn our communication. And it
Okay.
changes its style.
Awesome. So you put it right in there and you just say, "Hey, I'm loading this email," and then prompt it with saying that.
That's
Got it.
correct.
Do you
And
have a
that's
list of prompts, like any cheat sheets you can share with us as far as like prompt cheat sheets?
That's one thing that I've really been thinking about developing because there's so many of them that I've learned and just naturally know, but I hadn't made
Hmm.
a prompt checklist, but looking at doing that. Now, I will
Yeah.
tell you, here's something that's really interesting and um the audio won't work, I don't think. Um but if I go inside of any of these things, you can have a conversation and what you can do is tell it some of the information too. So you can have a actual conversation with this. So I'm going to see if I click this button, what exactly happens because I'm not sure on a live what will happen. So let me see, and I'm going to change over to um, the one that's ours, so it has a little bit more data. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, your chat GPT can't hear you because it's picking up your mic or picking up this Riverside.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
So,
audio.
so
It's the food
you
jinxed you.
literally can go inside of here if you have the plus, and you may be able to do it on the free one now. I know the plus got it much earlier, but you could go in here and have a conversation with it and talk to it. And so, like last night, I was working on a project, and as I was working on the project, I talked to it audibly for an hour about stuff. And the whole conversation was brought together in one form, in one condensed version of what we talked about. And then I was able to implement it within the chats itself. So you can have these long conversations with it, and then it give you directions as to what you're kind of talking about, and or give you kind of some ideas as to you're saying, hey, I'm looking doing this, search the web for this. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you're typing all the time. You can audibly talk back and forth to it, which is really weird because uh Friday before last, this is really fun. So use this stuff not just for work, but use it for fun too. So my kids, they are 14, 12, 10, and 8. And so they like to play games, but it's hard to find a game that essentially it fits everybody. So I sat on the couch while everybody was sitting there and I said, "Okay, chat, here we go. I am a 44-year-old male, my wife, and I went through every age and every name of them and I said, I want to play a trivia game with 10 questions each player and you keep the score of who's right. So, with that being said, start a trivia game now." And what it did is it's like, okay, Derek, where is the capital of? And I would answer the question that's right. And it kept the score. And we did this for 30, 45 minutes for each child getting a question. And we played as a family with Chat GPT being our moderator. So when it asks, what would you like to do? The answer is really a lot. You can do just about anything that you can think of. It's just what can your imagination say?
That's awesome.
Well, so here's some other things. Here's a couple tidbits that I would like to point out. Some of the stuff that you're putting in here is your company information. And if you say, for example, had Holly that worked with you, and I gave her her own, she had her own chat GPT, and I gave her the link to this so she could use it on her personal chat GPT and all that stuff. Well, the problem of it is like revoking the access is more difficult than not. And then they have this agent on their, toolbar. And, could they say, well, what's the policy for this? And go open their own cleaning company. I mean, it's possible. But the thing about it is we use Slack. And so by using Slack, I know this is getting way into the weeds, but you can actually integrate it to where it's a channel, and that GPT is a channel within Slack. So it only can operate inside of Slack and not anywhere else. So you can give access to it. And when somebody leaves the company, they no longer have that access to that GPT versus if they did. Now, of course, there is by far corporate GPTs that you can use for your staff and give everybody a sign on. However, you don't exactly have to do that. But the Slack thing is just absolutely remarkable because everybody gets the same thing. Now, here's the one that I really love about that. In Slack, if all your staff is on Slack and you have a channel called employee information, and then you have a new person come in and like, when do I get paid? Ask Slack. Train them to ask the communication, and then it's pulling everything from your employment manuals. It's pulling everything from your website. It's pulling everything that you fed it, and it cuts down on the amount of things that you have to say multiple times tremendously because they are already out there for them to see. So, like I said, don't just look at this as a glorified search engine. It's really an employee, and it's what you make it. It's incredible. And how it has saved us time is not only within these within the responses, but it also the automations and how we're sending things back out to leads and clients, and then not only that, but researching patterns of how people are spending money. What are your keywords in your area? It's a tool to go to for everything. Now, is it wrong? Yes. In the last week, I've come into several situations to where it had some coding issues with inside of it. But as far as some of the other stuff, you have to take it with a grain of salt. It's like it's a tool. It's not like the end all be all, but it's an amazing tool and can help you be extremely creative on what it says. One of the things I have built into one of my chat GPTs is ask me 10 questions before you give me an answer. Here's what I would like to do. Now, from what I would like to do a deep dive and ask me at least 10 questions before you give me any suggestions whatsoever. And not only that, but understand my complete outcome on the other side. Because what will happen is ChatGPT will start building these things and start telling you all this stuff. And then when you get to the end of it, you're like, that's not where I was going. So I learned that the hard way. Don't do that. Give it your end game and let it ask you exactly what you're looking for, and then let it do what it does.
Amazing. We have a couple. I don't know if you're able to see all the questions from
I actually can't
the.
see any of them.
Okay. Live stream chats. Well, let me just read them to you. So we had Kevin ask a question and said, which I think you just answered it by in a chat or the Slack integration. But like when you put something in, like, do you need to give it a specific prompt? Like, don't share this information publicly. But I think you answered that kind of a little bit. But if you want to get more into that.
Sure. So the better question is publicly how? So like publicly to the rest of your company and or publicly like across the internet. So
Both. Let's do
the
both.
answer for that is where I went in and went in my GPTs, and we're going to go to the one. I keep clicking on the screen I'm looking at. Uh, go to the one that my GPTs, and we're going to look for Raquel that I just built. And remember, at the very bottom, that information you want to stay here. I don't want to go out in web searches and put this information in, so keep it here. Also, in the instructions I have put in mine, make sure this is held within my GPTs and so forth. As far as staff, the Slack thing really fixes that, and you differentiate which one you want them to have. They don't have to have all of them. That's why I break them out, because don't want to have the master GPT.
Gotcha. And Kevin, let me know if that answered your question. And then I thought this was funny. Candace just said, I just learned more in 10 minutes off this podcast than I've learned from 4 days of chat GPT classes.
Well, that's awesome. I'm super glad to hear that. One of the things that I love to do is this stuff, and I don't mean just the automation side and GPT. So, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time and dealt with customers directly. And over the last few years, is transitioned more to dealing with more businesses and things like that. And there's nothing more I love. And I don't know if you remember this. I have a moment where my teacher, her name was Miss Flo, believe it or not. She taught us how to diagram sentences, and I have no idea how to do it. I was just clueless. Like, why does an adjective go there? I mean, why are we doing this in the first place? But then she explained it, and all of a sudden it was like, aha, and I got it. And so I love nothing more than seeing business owners get that moment of like, not of I understand how to use this, because I don't care you understand how to, like, just what it does. But all of a sudden, like, your brain start going 1,000 miles a minute because you're like, oh my gosh, I could do this. 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 And then you get in absolute overdrive as to like the ideas. So I'm really happy to hear that. And it's just something I love to, share and to teach, is not just the tools, because this is a really small little tool in the whole automation side. But I love to see when, business owners are just like, oh, this just changed so much. And that's why Ricochet even started, was for that consulting stuff, and to see business owners be able to do what we did inside their business.
I'm so excited. I'm about to ask you more about how they get in touch with you, but we have a couple more
Sure.
questions. Very specific question. Can you upload chats and ask ChatGPT to summarize group sentiment, identify ambassadors, predict members that will cause negative discourse?
As far as like staff, can you read that again? Because I can't see the words.
I know. I'm thinking that she is talking about staff, like a staff meeting.
Oh man, I've never asked it anything like that, because I don't know if I can say it. We don't kind of have that problem because of our automations, it takes all that out before there's even a problem. We don't have those type of staff.
I'm sure it probably could, though.
Yeah, there's no reason why not. There's so many patterns that you can see. I could show you in 5 minutes who in an entire company is going to cause problems as far as like that across years to come.
And then I'm assuming, like, to get a quick, like, you can probably ask ChatGPT, like, a beginner guide, prompting, like, give me prompts, and ChatGPT can probably teach you all the prompts. And then, tell it, like, I am a residential cleaning service owner, and I need a list of prompts that I should be interested in. And then just keep asking. You can, if you don't know how to prompt it, say, I'm trying to do this and I don't know how to prompt it. And what it'll tell you?
Yes.
Perfect.
So there was an older gentleman one time that said something to me, and it changed my life, and I do it all the time. And so now if I ever have a sales proposal, or I'm looking at buying anything, something that I don't know anything about, and it's hard for me to understand, and they've been in the field for a long time, my last question is always the same. What didn't I ask you? And what should I know? And that's the same thing that GPT does, is like, hey, I'd like to do this. I'm new at this. Can we do one step at a time? And then you give me a master prompt at the end. And the answer is yes.
Very good. That's so cool. Okay, one question I have is, okay, if we are just now seeing this and like everybody's been saying on the live, well, there goes my weekend. Like I'm gonna be playing like crazy. Um, so if you had to start anywhere as a residential cleaning service, because I my all of our brains are going 1,000 miles a minute, like, oh, I'm gonna have a customer service channel, I'm gonna have a sales channel, I'm gonna have this, that, or the other. Could you recommend which channels you think a residential cleaning service should set up? And then the second part of that question is which one to start with first.
Sure. Everybody's answer is different, Holly. There
I
are
like that
people.
because that's what my answers always are too. It depends. It depends
Well,
what's more
it does.
important to you.
People say, "What's your favorite color?" I always go, "On what?" Right. So, the thing about it is like, uh, yes, you can know what you need help with. Right now, I'm looking at you. You, you know where you need help. It's not like my
Or
suggestion.
freeze.
It's like, okay, we're lacking in customer service because of this. Okay, it's the customer service bot. Or we have a lot of empathetic people that work in our office. And what they do is get a quote. And when they get a quote, they send the quote out. And the closing is, hey, thanks. If you ever need us, let us know. You need sales. So it's all in what you're lacking as to where I would start first. It's no different than a doctor. They're not going to give you, they're not going to give you a knee operation if your shoulder's blown out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't let me tell you where to start. You know where you need to start. But in the fields itself, how we use it is sales, customer service. I use it for advice. I'm going to say it at the very end because I'm not going to talk about it. He'll do it next week. I told him, I said, I'm glad I saw this because I'm about to blow you out the water with this thing for next week. But I have a board of directors, which
Mm-hmm.
basically I ask a lot of people a question. Each one will answer me because I like will say, okay, like so for example, in my board of directors, I have Gary Vanderchuck, I have Grant Cardone. I could go on the list, but even I have Dave Ramsey. Like he's so conservative. I don't like that, but I want to know his thought, right? So inside of that chat board of directors, I'll paste all their information. What I'm not going into, he can do next week, but then I can ask it individual questions. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll have Gary answer me and I'll have Dave answer me and the whole nine. So build you a thing where there's a few people in there and ask them questions. Where should I start? And they may ask you things like, okay, what's your revenue? You'll be surprised what it does. And just keep asking questions. You can do this going down the road and have, instead of listening to music, instead of whatever, you can sit there with Chat GPT and transform your business.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me. Like, just pull up one of your channels and just start talking. Like, just start talking to it. Like if you don't have time to sit there and type 1,000 words, like nobody has time to type, or you think, oh, I'm not going to do this because I have to copy and paste and upload all this stuff. I don't even know where it is, or I haven't even created it, right? I haven't even created it. You know what? Just grab your phone, go through the configure part that he just told you, and then start grabbing your phone, hitting the record button and just start talking to it as you're driving. And if that's all it gets, that's better than nothing. Like you don't have to upload anything. You can just start talking to it, start training it, um, and start there. It's exactly the same way that you're normal. You noticed like when you first started using ChatGPT, it kind of gave you generic answers, but as you've logged in and you keep using the same login, it's like, how did it know? Like it never.
Yeah. And speaking of that, Holly, like
Mhm.
up here, anytime that you're teaching something, you have like a sensei, you have the master, right?
Mhm.
You have Mr. Miyagi.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like inside your new chat. See, it's not labeled anything. So it can give you a little bit of all of it put together, or you can ask it. So I look at it like this, and honestly, it may not be the right way to look at it. I look at it like this as the parent, and
Mhm.
then all the rest of them as children.
Mhm.
So basically, each thing has where it goes. So what can happen is like I can go into this easy and find where I left off with something versus just having everything in Chat GPT, like the main GPT. That's why I separate them out, is to, do that. And for them to, each prompt has a way to respond specifically. However, your main one is going to get like the overall gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just want to do something real fast, here's where you start and have it start helping you build out stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Man, if I don't know how the residential cleaning industry is ever gonna pay you back for the like AI bomb you just hit us with. And I think we all knew this, and people talk about, oh, you can do this, but it's like, can somebody just simply put, for lack of a better word, put this in English terms and cut to the crap? Like, I don't, because everybody gets really excited because I could see you wanted to go somewhere else with a step beyond this and a step beyond that. And I feel like we need to spend like 6 months on AI and we'll just do the like keep rotating. I'm like, okay, Derek, you're coming back. You are getting rave reviews from everybody online, and we are so happy to have you. So with all this information, that I'm gonna look at the feeds again and make sure there's no other questions. But just as I preach about the residential cleaning service, everybody's like, what do you get out of TCS podcast? I get helping my industry. That's all I want to do. I want to educate and empower people. I want to bring people up. I want everybody to succeed. I have a cleaning service myself in Austin and Houston. All of my employees are on right now, soaking up every second of this. So I'm training my own employees at the same time. So I think the cool thing is that you give back. But I know some of us have been in BNI, some of us haven't. But givers, we want to give back. So what can we do for you? Like, what is Ricochet Business Solutions if somebody is like, okay, this is all over my head and I give up? Like, what is it that you do with Ricochet that is, what is
Sure.
Ricochet and how can we help you grow? And what do we need to do to pay you back for all of this knowledge? And I'm sure we'll probably have you on again because I'm already like ready to ask like 1,000 questions about okay, there's several AI, like ChatGPT is the surface of AI, right? They're just
Oh,
the
yeah.
bare minimum surface, but can be so powerful. Once you get that down, then there's like, ooh, it goes forever. Like, I can't wait to ask you about, video AI tools and
Oh,
all these different AI methods, but I just didn't want to overwhelm anybody now. So tell me about Ricochet.
okay. So, what Ricochet is it's a full service business consulting slash automation company. And so, because of being in business for so long, I'm not one thing or the other. And when I first started building out these systems, there were a lot of people that was talking a lot of like lingo of the IT world, and or you could do this automation and this trigger and blah 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 blah. I had no idea what they were talking about. And so as I started learning and building and figuring out and building and building and building and got to a place, what I really wanted to bring value is a few things. A, as far as in the business within itself, I'm not an IT person overall. The company is just an IT company, but we kind of go from sales mediation to see what's going on in the sales processes. We look at every process and procedure, what's holding you up. Also can look at like staffing, recruiting out the wazoo can help with that through Ricochet. Set up all, well, not all, many, many, many things you do all day long that are automated. My phone, since we've been on here, has been blowing up, and it's all like chat bots sending stuff back that I never did. So the thing about it is you kind of look at it like this. You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy some golf clubs and go out there and you can, start hitting the golf ball. And that's what a lot of people do. Or with Ricochet, what we do is we're like a pro house, a clubhouse to where you can get fitted, you can talk to the instructor. We are the golf course. You can have people go out and play with you. So it's not like a one thing or another. But where ChatGPT comes in this play is inside of a lot of our automations. ChatGPT is firing the responses also with our AI bots. Now, I could go for another 30 minutes and that would get like super, super, super deep. But what basically Ricochet allows you to do is be the business owner you wanted to be. You didn't sign up to be HR. You didn't sign up to be IT. You didn't sign up to send all the stuff back to the leads and have to worry about nurture them all the time and see what your salespeople are doing. And that's what we do. We take all the guesswork out of all of that and put it up in a package together and say, okay, here's how you can do it. And then not only that, certain people need certain things. I only do recruiting for certain people. I only do sales for certain people. But, pick and choose. So we do a lot within it, and it's been so fun. So fun.
I know I see you with your cars, and you're just like a builder and a creator and an architect, and so creative, and I totally dig it. But go ahead.
I
I
want to
saw
say
it.
it. I want to
Do
say
it.
it. So uh the thing about it is everything that I do is based from the customer's point of view. I was in sales, sitting across the desk from people for tons of years, talked to thousands of people, did a lot of things like, say for example, the books like Psychology of Salem from Brian Tracy and things like that. So
Love
even
that
though
book.
we built all this automation, it's simply built around psychology to where people don't understand that it is automated. Like, say, for example, I'll give you a real little tip. One of our automations, actually a bunch of them, spell words wrong intentionally. And then 60 seconds later, a text goes back out and says, gosh, I'm having, fat fingers today, or autocorrect is killing me, or whatever. And we do that intentional to keep it on a level of people understand, like, oh, this is a person. Yeah, that happens to me too. I have the response almost every time. Yeah, that help happens to me too. And then it just continues the thing on. So it's the psychology of the person and the client, not just the tool. The tool's only as good as you make it be.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier next week. I mean, I feel like I could do this all day long. I'm totally geeking out just like everybody else. But next week we do have Drew coming on to do the board of directors. Um, so he's going to go through how to set up your board of directors, and so that's going to be fun. So play with your other channels first, because I mean I think Drew can probably answer a couple of those questions for you, or we can always bring Derek back on. I have a big feeling I'm going to get that question, and then also on the third week it is Angela, and she's coming on with Unique Genius, who is going to talk about the chats and the bots and we actually just started training our phone bot, which is like, like crazy cool. So she's gonna be talking about that a lot too. And all three of y'all know each other, and y'all are all insanely successful. And I'm just happy to call y'all my friends, and I'm happy that you're on TCS and sharing this information with the industry. I can't thank you guys enough. And I'm looking, and everybody's just blown away, blown away. Questions can't come. Hey, and the good news is that this program that I use to film this podcast is Riverside, and it has AI integrated with it. So when I process this recording, I'm going to be able to fix all my computer sick issues. All the audio will be fixed, so I can repost this without any audio issues. The only thing you'll see me doing is running around playing musical chairs trying to figure out how to fix it. So other than that, on the recording, it will be absolutely perfect because AI is going to fix it for me, and then AI is going to clip like 50 clips for me, like in seconds off of this one podcast. I'm going to be able to share it with Derek, and he's going to be able to share it for his content. He's going to be able to put this entire podcast into his sales channel for Ricochet. I mean, like, keep going, right? Then we're getting into marketing, and marketing in AI gets
That's fun. Oh my gosh,
insane.
that's fun. I love that. And so I have my website there, and also my name is just Derek DEREK at Ricochet Business Solutions as far as email. But if you want to book a Zoom and like talk about some of the stuff and maybe how we can help you, and or just setting up a little bit of GPT stuff, I don't mind that. I love it. Just click on the blue button, start winning today. And I did that specifically for the absolute truth. By doing that, you close more leads, you generate more sales, you get more revenue, you have happier staff. I I just got to stop.
I know. You had me sold. I'm like, can you be my new best friend? But I'll pay you to be my best friend.
Thank you. I
And
need that.
Nina's awesome too. So his wife is amazing. We got to hang out with them. Well, I think we're going to call it a wrap for the day for TCS podcast. I know that was a whole lot of information, but I appreciate you breaking it down so much. I do want to remind everybody of one special we have going on in the month of September, since this is a September series. The cleaning software is all about automating as well. And we are working on a version of TCS that will be mind blowing with AI. And we are just trying to catch up with AI. So CRMs, it takes a little bit for us to catch up, but we are on the path there. But the main thing is in September, we are giving away only 4 spots in the entire nation. If you book a demo and actually sign up in the month of September, the first 4 seats get live in-person launches by the TCS team themselves. And I don't know if anybody's ever hung around us, but we are a ball. Not only are we going to make it fun, we are going to get you up and going in like a day and a half, where most people would just, think it's overwhelming and crawl under a desk. And we're not going to do that to you. We're not that CRM where you just have to sign up and figure it out. And we want to prove that to you guys, whether we be via Zoom or in person. But we are going to be in person for the first 4 that sign up. So sign up today. Or you know what? It can't hurt to just schedule a demo. And then maybe you don't want to sign up. Maybe it's not a good fit for you. But either way, just schedule a demo, because the value of us coming up in an in-person launch and training you in person is like crazy amount of money. So thank you, Derek. I can't wait. Drew, you better put your big boy pants on for next Wednesday, because you got one that you got to outdo, and that's going to be hard. So, Derek, if you'll stay on with me, I am going to turn off live really quick from the other room where my sick computer is actually running this session.
Right.
Not stop.
Y'all like to see a dance? I can do that.